This framework helped me close over $1 million in sales in under a year. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down this exact framework that I use in every sales call to close deals. So guys, let's dive right in. The first thing that I want you guys to understand is the first 4 to 10 seconds really matter on a sales call. Because when you first hop on, since you're on Zoom and you're remote and even in person, the first impressions really matter. How you dress, how you look, how your background is really matters. And what we want to do on a call is be perceived as sharp, enthusiastic as hell, and an expert in our field. This is something that I learned from Jordan Belfort, which stuck with me to this day. Now, alongside the 4 to 10 second rule, we want to be established as an authority, because if they don't feel like we're an expert and we're an authority, why should they buy from you? And they're not going to be buying from somebody that they feel like that's your friend or your bro. No, you need to be perceived as an expert and somebody that knows what they're talking about. And the easy stuff that you can do to be perceived as an expert and look good and be somebody that prospect can trust is by simply just having a nice shirt, having a nice background, and just looking the part, looking like somebody that a prospect can trust in terms of making an investment of $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. $50,000. So now that we know the 4 to 10 second rule, now we dive into rapport. Now, the first thing that we do with a prospect when they jump on a sales call is allow them to introduce themselves and build rapport with them. So the 3 easy questions that I like to use to let the prospect introduce themselves and build rapport is by asking them, okay, how are you? Where are you calling from? I'm calling from Miami. Oh, amazing. Are you there for business or pleasure? Oh, I'm just there for pleasure for 2 weeks. Oh, awesome. That's great. And then you can just go from there. Okay. You can take the conversation from there. You can take it back to you. Oh, I'm from Dublin, Ireland. It's not as busy here. We have Conor McGregor. You can just make some jokes or just, talk about your city, their business, why they're in that city specifically. So you can just have a little bit of small talk. Now, you don't want it to be carried away. You don't want to be carried away with the conversation, and you just want to keep it anywhere between 2 to like 4 or 5 minutes max. You will have the prospects that will just talk all day and laugh, which is okay. But then also you'll have the prospects that just want to cut to the chase and they want to get on with it. So you just got to have a balance. All right. Once we have the intro and rapport done, now we can go to the frame, setting the frame. Now, what we're going to do is get right into the call, and we want to set the tone for the call. So that way we can take leadership and take frame. So typically what I'd say after I build some rapport is just simply saying, all right, Mr. Prospect, I'm glad that you got on the call today. We have a lot to cover. If you're ready, we can jump right in. Prospect says, yes, let's do it. Let's get on with it. Perfect. How these conversations normally go is I would ask you a couple of questions just to understand a little bit more about where you're currently at, what's your biggest struggles, what's your goals, and how we can potentially be of service. If I feel like there is a fit, I'll present to you our solution and next steps. But if I feel like we might not be able to help you, I'm more than happy to refer you to somebody else that can assist you better. Does that sound fair? Sounds fair. Awesome. Let's get on with it. So setting the frame puts us in a leadership frame, and it sets the tone of the conversation and how it will go in terms of them understanding that we're going to ask them questions. We're going to figure out where they're currently at, what their goals are, and potentially we can help them, but also potentially we might not be able to. So we're not afraid of referring them to somebody else. And this is important because it lowers the sales resistance and it shows them that we're not afraid of losing the sale. We're not afraid of them going somewhere else, which is very, very good, which shows abundance. So next we have the discovery phase. This is where we're going to be asking skilled questions to understand a little bit more about the prospect and have more ammo during our call. You guys can see on the right hand side, we have 7 beliefs, which are pain, doubt, cost, desire, money, support, and trust. So these are the 7 beliefs that the prospect needs to have to be able to buy. And our goal, or the closer's goal, is to hit on all these points with asking skilled questions, which will allow us to widen the gap between where they're currently at and where they want to go, and position our solution as the bridge to help them get there. Now, on the left-hand side as well, you guys can see challenge first and goals first. Now, this is very important to understand because we're going to have people that are going to be problem aware. They know they have a problem. They know that their business is not functioning. They're losing a lot of money on ads, etc., etc. But then we have the other prospect that they feel like they don't have a challenge. They're okay. They're doing well. But sometimes, or most likely, they'll have a challenge that they're not aware of. And our job as closers or sales reps is to allow the person that's not problem aware to identify the problems and widen the gap, and again, provide our solution as the bridge to their goals and desires, so to speak. So the goal from the discovery phase is to really identify their pain points, where they're currently at, where are they trying to go, and figure out what's really holding them back. Why have they tried to get to their goals, and why hasn't that really worked out? And that will give us enough ammo to understand why haven't they not been able to get to their goals on their own already. And then we can position our solution, our pitch, as a solution and as the bridge, as I like to say it, to get to where they want to go. So that's the discovery phase. So next we have the transition and the trust. Now, transition into the trust and the story is very, very crucial, because the last thing that we want is transitioning and sounding salesly, so on and so forth. So how I'd like to transition normally is by telling the prospect or asking them, okay, Mr. Prospect, I was curious, how much research have you done on us before the call today? When I ask that question, is like a little smooth way to transition us to speak a little bit more about ourselves. So normally the prospect will say, yeah, I either done some research about you guys, or I haven't, I only watched one video, or I've been following you guys for a couple of years, I really like your content. Perfect. That's a great way, or that's a great segue to speak a little bit more about us and what we have going on here. And then boom, I'm in the trust and story phase. So for the guys that don't know what trust and story is, let me explain. So before we transition into the pitch and telling them about our solution, our service, and how it works, we need to first build a little more trust through our story as a company and what we have done, testimonials, handling concerns, so on and so forth. Because there's two types of sales on a call. They have to be sold on the method first. For example, let's say that you're selling Facebook ads. They have to be sold on the fact that Facebook ads is the method that will help their business grow. And then second of all, being sold on the product, which is your service, your exact techniques, your 4-step blueprint to get them to where they want to be using Facebook ads. So this is very crucial for you guys to understand. So during this trust, we need to mention a lot of different stuff about us as a company. Okay, who have we helped relevant to the prospect and where they're currently at, and demolishing or destroying concerns that may have popped up during the discovery using facts and figures, showing them that we know what we're talking about and they can trust us in terms of delivering the solution. So next we have the pitch. So this is very straightforward. That's where you explain the details of your offer, your price points, so on and so forth. So after dropping the price, the deal will go 3 ways. The deal will either get closed, congratulations, you've made your money. But in most cases, you're gonna need to handle some objections or concerns or even smoke screens before getting the deal. And in some cases as well, after handling objections, some prospect will need to move some money around, or they wanna get started on Monday because of some condition that was stopping them from getting started today. So in some cases, you will have to set a follow-up call and follow up with the prospect, send them some resources, warm them up, and get them closed on the follow-up call as well. So these are the 3 stages. And in the next couple of videos on the channel, we're going to be breaking down each stage in terms of how to handle objections on a deeper level, or the objection handling framework that you guys can follow that will allow you guys to close any objection whatsoever, and also how to follow up properly, how to follow up all the way to the follow-up call to ensure that that person is going to show up and you're going to be able to close them on the call. So guys, this is the exact framework that I've been utilizing on my sales calls that helped me close over $1 million in sales in under a year. So if you guys got any value whatsoever from today's video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Now guys, that's only one of many frameworks that we use to close deals online. All of our students have access to all these frameworks, allowing them to become successful in the high-ticket sales space. If you're somebody that's interested to become a student and learn a little more about sales and how to get into it and get placed in a high-ticket role within 90 days or less, then make sure to click the link down below, book a call, and we'll see if you're a great fit to become a student.